We're creating a fucking movement in this goddamn country. All right? I'm calling it the Alt Center. It's gonna be great. Is anyone else just like, you can't even look for a second at the news because it's so horrific? And yes, I hijacked this old channel. I've been trying to launch a podcast for years and I just never knew what to call it or who to be. And you start playing a character or an aspect of yourself. You start playing up a aspect of yourself. It turns into a character and you start thinking you're that character. And I never wanted to be the characters I thought would do well. I knew would get clout online. You know what I mean? And now I'm free, baby. And so here we are. But yes, I had an old vertical or aquaponics channel that I forgot about, and it garnered 1,000 subscribers over the years just from a few videos I put up over many many years of neglect. And that's what you need to go live. So if I could go live on a new channel, I would just start a new channel, but you can't, and I refuse to think about, my life is too busy. I have a million businesses. I can't think about a million startups. Okay, so none of them are making money, and I can't think about editing and posts and none of that. I gotta just rant into a fucking microphone. You understand me? You get what I'm saying. So if you're like, who the hell is this now very bald guy? I saw an old video of myself in my channel from my first indoor farming business, 312 Aquaponics, and my God, was I handsome. What? How, compared to my ugly ass now? I was so much more handsome when I was younger. Completely wasted on me. Completely wasted. Basically celibate because I had immense ED. Just the worst. I was like those mussels at the bottom of the ocean floor that come out and feed on minerals shooting out of lava fissures or whatever. And as soon as you touch them, they go. That was me. You know what I mean? Like, that's my spirit animal. So, anyway, enough oversharing. So, yeah, I'm like, what do I want to talk about? And this is the idea that's consuming, not consuming me, but like, I find endless fascination in exploring. And I'm deeply driven by the concepts of it. And basically, it's like, this is how, so far, the best I can do. It's literally combining capitalism and communism and creating a political party that's apolitical. So it's like alt center is just the best I came up with. And if you look at the Wikipedia definition, some Cheeto fingered dork wrote like the craziest alt center. There's nothing, it doesn't exist. Okay, you type in alt center first off in Google and you get a 2017 New York Magazine article called "Why the Alt Center is a Problem." Centrist liberals who grossly misrepresent the views of their left-wing critics are sowing unnecessary division in the anti-Trump movement. First off, like anti-Trump. Second off, you know what Trump did? Liberals. So if you're in the spectrum, let's go back to this. If you're in the political spectrum, you're on the mental spectrum. As far as I'm concerned, it's the stupidest fucking thing. You see Jim McConnell's, like, what is going on with that man's neck? I eat like shit and I have a little McConnell neck. That guy, dude, he is killing himself with some unknown substance. I've never seen anyone's neck do that. He's a reptilian. He looks like a frog. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. So, you got him, and then you got Nancy Pelosi. I mean, my God. Let's all just say it. It's hard to know, in fact. Did she sleep her way to the top? She was a dimey piece back in the day. She was a dimey. But she's vicious. She's very strong. She's a very strong woman. You know what I mean? But clearly a corrupt drunk. You know, these people, they're so corrupt that they're coping as human beings must with evil they're coping the best way they can. Their lives are miserable. They have to go out and defend the deep state plutocrats that are like raping this country, and they get their 100 million because other people are making 100, hundreds of billions. They get their 1% for going out and just lying to themselves. And you lie to yourself, and it's even talking about it brings my energy down. You know what I mean? So that spectrum, I'm off it, dude. I'm literally off it. I've risen above. I've ascended above. I've ascended above the fucking political spectrum, and I'm, at the center point. So I'm a hardcore centrist. I'm a extreme centrist. I really am. I look a little more handsome, I gotta admit, with my glasses off than my glasses. The bald and these glasses, they don't really go together. That's interesting. You learn things. I'm 35, still learning. So, yeah, it's like, enough. Shut the fuck up. You idiots, shut the fuck up. None of you have good ideas. None of you have guts. None of you have conviction or a spine. All you have is extremely thick skin and the ability to defend horrible laws that are like ruining everyone's lives. Everyone's lives. It's insane. My barber the other day, I go to Great Clips, dude, right? It's like $15 a fucking clip. I go in there and it's like nothing. The one on the top, zero on the top, one on the bottom. That's somehow fitting for the story of my life. And and fuck you to the one person at a time that comes in here watching live and then hears what I have to say, then leaves. Man, that's hard to recover from. But we will persevere. So, where was I? My rant. Yeah, my barber, this poor lady, she was in a horrible mood. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I don't want you holding a fucking knife to my throat, or my head, or my neck, really, with this horrible attitude. Like, really bad. Not like, it was clear that it wasn't me that was at fault. It was just something in her life. And I just started talking. And we get into the economy. It turns out her rent has been jacked. She's got a 13-year-old daughter. And she's kind of freaking out a little bit, or mad. More mad than anything else. I'm like, yeah, this is insane. And she's like, I can't believe landlords do that. I'm like, I know. But the thing is, I don't think it's right. They think they're being forced to do it to keep the building because they took out this crazy ass loan that has like a variable interest rate. And so it was cheap at the time, and now interest rates have gone up and their monthly payments are through the roof. So they're literally raising the rent as little as they can to keep the building because they know if they go too hard that people will leave. But they have to raise it a lot because their interest rates have jumped up, just like everyone else's, right? The Fed shits in the throats of the banks, who shit in the throats of the borrowers, who shit in the throats of us. That's how the poop travels in this stupid-ass boomer economy. Completely arbitrary, right? I'm not saying get rid of money. You can't get rid of the economy, but the federal lending practice is ass backwards, okay? A 4-year-old could come up with a better solution or figure out the safeguards and solve the goddamn housing problem. These problems are not complicated. The solutions are complicated because of boomers and legacy DNA level caveman thinking, which we have to abandon completely. And that's what I mean. Let's rise above dude, I log off the internet. I fucking get off the news. I don't watch cable news. These people are horrible, horrible human beings. If you can sit in front of a newscast thing and read the worst lies that humanity has ever written, just built to scare and frighten the masses, like, every day, you fucking suck, dude. You're a piece of shit. Like, I don't want any physical ill will, but I know that your life already sucks. You haven't had a real friend, a real laugh, a real conversation, a real relationship since you started. Because you talk like this. And everyone hates you because you're not being you. And you've hollowed out yourself for a few $1,000,000 and like a fucking penthouse apartment in a dirty ass city. Like, what do you know what I mean? And let's be real. We all got tricked. We all got tricked. You were weaker. You were easier to trick. You know what I mean? People who are like poor, they're just harder to trick with nonsense. Oh yeah, do more work so you can get a promotion. Oh, we're gonna fire you because you don't communicate in the way we like to. Motherfucker, teach me how you like to communicate. I don't. I'm a brown guy. I don't. I'm a physic. Like I'm not a corporate hack. If you want me to communicate better, give me a template. Let's go into it. I literally asked for help at a company. Hey, can you help me templatize? Can you help me communicate better? Hey guys, the guy goes to the entire company and says this project is an absolute shit show. This is unacceptable. Hey dude, definitely asked you to help so that I would get this email, which led to me getting fired, which is the best thing that ever happened to me. But still, that's some white shit, dude. Corporate sabotage? That's some white shit. I don't know if that shit, like, brown people, they just saw you up in a basement and smuggle you out the back door in a bunch of bags. Like, they don't do corporate sabotage. That's a very white thing where they kill you with kindness. The British invented that. And maybe it's a better way to go than us brownies, but regardless, man, ain't that some shit. So, I want to put together a coalition. I want to create an alt center. I want to create a political party. I want to create a movement. I want to do all the things that get you assassinated. However, I want to make the deep state a lot of money. So I think we can all work together here. And that's really the thing. The banner that I'm creating, it's like, you know, back to the theory, communism and capitalism. I didn't realize it, but I was, as far left. I was very far left. I was never militant. I'm a very peaceful person. Now, I've become a corporate militant. I'm a corporate jihadi now. Like, dude, I don't care if your company dies. I don't fucking care. Zero care if a company goes out of business. Because it instantly gets reabsorbed by the economy, the resources get redistributed. It's the natural order of things, okay? So when it comes to, you know, corporate death, I don't fucking care. When it comes to personal ethics, I focus on fairness. My deal structures are as fair as possible for all parties. That's what I optimize for. Is total fairness across across all stakeholders, because that lets me do more deals faster, and I have to think less about the deals. And I treat everything like a little deal, a job offer, whatever. I still have a day job. I do all this shit. Nobody funds me. You know what I mean? I'm not fundable. I've been privileged enough to raise maybe $250,000 over the course of multiple startups, but it was a nightmare. I'd rather die than take these people's money. They're awful people. Venture capitalists and angel investors are awful people. They're good human beings, but they're horrible business people. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they tell you all these stupid ass things that they've read on the internet and Twitter, and they think they have, they think they've done something because they raised money just because they are the cookie cutter of an investor, just because they convinced a couple. You know what I mean? Just because you raise money doesn't mean you're smart. It doesn't. It certainly doesn't mean you're right. Raising money has zero correlation with being right. In fact, most people that raise money turn out to be wrong, right? Most ventures go bust. More fucking funds go under. I don't know about anything besides VC funds, but most don't make a return, right? So just because you raised money has no bearing on you being correct. You have an interesting hypothesis. That's basically it. Perhaps you have a promising hypothesis or a promising past, but it doesn't mean your current bet is right at all. Full stop. So I hear this kid talking about, I just raised $250,000, and here, let me tell you everything I've ever known. And I'm like, listen, man, dude, that's nothing. First off, it's sad that you had to raise money and you couldn't do it on your own. So don't, I know you just did it, you're in your early 20s, and I was probably worse, right? But the fact of the matter is that raising money is actually a sign of weakness. It means you don't have a good enough business to start today. Because you can start practically any kind of business by bootstrapping and then not needing angel and venture capital. Venture capital is when your idea is so fucking stupid, no one knows if it's going to work. But when you have an idea that's clearly going to work, you get customers and they pay you. And then you're a businessman and not playing business. And this is the key difference. This is the thing. Good startup founders, they are businessmen, and they're under 5%. And they're the ones that are successful because they understand business. Everyone else is pretending to play business, and they all fail. They all fail. Yeah, they make a couple $100,000 a year, but they all fucking fail because they don't know what they're doing. And then you have this middle ground of people that just through fucking sheer willpower force these, 10 to $100 million exits and live off of that, and that's their whole thing. And they're, you know, they'll be well to do over their by the time their career's over, but they're not creative enough to do anything interesting, and so they never get these like big exits. So you want to be something like very strong and open-minded at the same time. That I think is what will create the most opportunities for you. But going back to the news, you can't watch it. It'll fucking ruin your life. And everyone that owns a news company should be arrested for crimes against humanity just by bringing down the vibe of this country, man. You know what I mean? Like, so you go and you Google alt center, and the Wiktionary pops up. The free dictionary. Does this have anything to do with Wikipedia itself? Wiktionary, National Wiki, Urban Dictionary, Wikipedia. Radical centrism from Wikipedia. And then Southern Poverty Law Center comes out with alt-right. That's the 7th article. So radical centrism is a willingness on part of most radicals to call for fundamental reform of institutions. Centrism refers to a belief that genuine solutions require realism and pragmatism. Idealism without illusions, a phrase originally from John F. Kennedy. So alt-center, according to Wiktionary.com, slang politics derogatory, a set of centrist ideologies that delegitimize political dissent, depend on conspiracy theories, or otherwise are paradoxically authoritarian, whose presence is mainly confined to the internet. Well, that kind of hurts my feelings, because that's me right now. I don't believe in political like protesting, no. But in all honesty, I was trying to make a joke out of all this stuff. Maybe that's the way it is. But I don't fucking care. Maybe that's where it starts, but we need to do something. Jesus Christ, we need to do something. These people in charge are ruining the planet. They're ruining our we are worried about a non what do you even call the political situation in Ukraine? Like a completely avoidable situation, literally caused by NATO saber rattling and totalitarian desperation, which is completely preventable. Like literally, we could just invite Russia into the Western world and we would defeat China. But the military industry has a bunch of missiles that are like a bunch of them that are designed for tank warfare, but there is no more tank warfare, and so they literally pick the place and the adversary that would create a tank conflict, a tank-based conflict, so they could dump their old inventory and then get paid to create new missiles and bullshit. And so Russia, knowing that this anti-tank brigade or whatever line of defense is set up and well armed by us, by you, every time you pay a fucking tax, it goes to fund these fucking stupid ass Javelin missiles, and they're sending their old tanks. Because you're gonna get, and so they're literally burning tanks to burn through the Javelin missiles, 60% of which we've sent we've sent 60% of our stockpiles or some fucking crazy number, and they're just burning old military inventory. That is the majority of what's happening in the Ukraine, and it's fucking disgusting. And so we would rather do that than align ourselves with Russia and to be able to counteract and tame China, who, by the way, is leading us all into a global fucking shit show recession, depression, because They wanted to grow and take on the West, and they did that through their construction industry. And their mix of capitalism and communism is the opposite of what you should do. They combine authoritative capitalism with communism with crony corrupt capitalism. That is insane. Like, we need the opposite of that. We need the inverse of China, where you have a benign central authority algorithm that assigns resources as fast as humanly possible, all to the winner. Right? That's the one thing the Chinese are really fucking good at. They pick the winner and they give him all the fucking money, and they become Alibaba and ByteDance and all this other shit. They prune their economy very well. That is like, oh, it's very impressive. But what they did to bolster their yuan and grow their GDP and all this stuff is just build buildings. And now they have all these ghost buildings and they have all these bad debts that can't be serviced. And so those companies are going under. And to pay for that loss, the banks are refusing people access to their own capital so that they can balance the books or not go completely under. And, you know, because if you lose a bunch of fake investment value, you better have some fucking cash in the bank at the company to be able to say, no, we're still here. We have cash. It's actually worth a lot, da. So they're driving their tanks in front of the banks to protect the people from taking out their money, and now people are not paying their mortgage, and the whole fucking thing is going to go under. And some people are saying, like, in 1 or 2 months. I don't fucking know. Eventually. It's a house of cards. It is the biggest house of cards in the fucking world. Because at the end of the day, whatever you want to say about America, it has defended its petroleum dollar with real goddamn bullets. You understand me? And that's the thing, though. That caused fascism abroad. So you have the right in America rooting for foreign fascism, and then you got the left in America rooting for domestic fascism. The fuck are you idiots talking about? Now, this is a problem America has. It's a problem the whole world has, where idiots are in charge. So, what do? The institutions are going to crumble. The economy is going to reset. You're going to be fucking on your own. Or, you take over all the fucking institutions and force good ideas down the throats of these fucking idiot boomers. I don't know which way it's going to go. Maybe, or obviously some third route. Maybe a combination, maybe a fourth route. Who fucking knows? I don't know. But until we start talking about the problems and exploring real solutions, we're not going to solve shit. And guess what? Everything needs to be solved in real time right now. So these fucking idiots prancing around on TikTok for clout, dancing? Dude, there's nothing sadder than a girl, like young girl, not a woman, a girl, dancing on TikTok to sell OnlyFans subscriptions. And then, like, arousing underage kids so they can steal their parents' credit cards and go buy their OnlyFans subscription. Like, what are we doing? Right? And it's even worse. It's like, that's bad. That's depressing. But the majority of people are dying for clout for no fucking reason. They'll jump on whatever trend they gotta jump on to get those likes. They have no substance. They have no ideas. They have nothing of value. But they have all the self-esteem. Like, what is up with that? Everyone with the ideas has low self-esteem. Everyone with the self-esteem has no fucking ideas. So maybe we bring the two together. Maybe you need a partner. Maybe the capitalists and the communists need to combine forces and get after it. Because communists don't realize that the solution to capitalism is for them to become capitalists and inject social welfare into the MBA society. Capitalists don't fucking understand that there are trillions of dollars of good ideas in the minds and hearts of creative people that don't give a shit about business because it's gross. Because they're really too sensitive to deal with the oftentimes highly predatory and toxic culture. Now, communists don't realize that there's so much goddamn money out there now that you don't need to do business with toxic people anymore. There's enough good people to do business with. And that business inherently is not a bad thing. You've been tricked to think that by capitalists that don't want you to compete with them, that want you to stay poor, that want you to not have the means of production, or better yet, the means of distribution, which is where the real money is in. One distributor distributes products from many, 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 many producers. They make the easiest fucking money and they control the market. Alcohol distribution, cannabis distribution, weapons distribution, right? Last mile warehouse distribution. These companies control retail, effectively a form of distribution. These companies control what enters our lives, what products we have access to. You go on Amazon, it's full of garbage. I mean, you go to any mall, it's full of safe products that they have a good sense, the highest probability of selling because they can't fuck around. They got to pay this rent. You go on Alibaba, dude, you have products that like you've never fucking heard of that are cool and interesting, and they'll ship them over to you. Now it'll take a little longer, but it's really wild. And so we're just so far behind. And yes, China is taking over the global economy. Yes, its mortgage problem is major, so I don't know what's going to happen. But the thing is, they can't invent anything. They have to, at the end of the day, and this is where you should be afraid. This is where you should be scared. As an American capitalist, they've had to steal all our ideas to get to maintain the fucking edge where they can get to where they are now. However, as TikTok is a perfect example, they have shipped us plastic garbage, and we've shipped them American dollars. They have shipped us nothing, and we've shipped them the most valuable thing in the world. Now, they've used that money, and they've, stolen all the ideas that America has the unique ability to create because of our diversity. We are the most diverse country in the world, culturally, and you see more mixed families here than anywhere else in the world. Go anywhere else, dude, and show me a native person married to a black person. Show me. Love to see it. Those people move because it's so uncomfortable for them. Because they're actually fucking evolved. Now, America's the most evolved country in the world. And we can evolve even further. China's fucking right on our tail. And the scary thing is now, they're using our money, your money, to buy American companies. And put them into the Chinese market, capital market, effectively. Under the Chinese kind of centralized authoritative command structure. And inject them with people, resources, and connections to grow them faster than anyone else. Just like a U.S. venture capital, they are extremely smart people. The Chinese are not stupid. The Chinese people are not bad people. The same amount of psychopaths exist in all places. Our institutions have no psychopath filters, and they're actually now psychopath magnets. So maybe we implode all these fucking institutions and all the psychopaths go under, and we have to therefore create new ones. I don't know, okay? I'm not asking or calling for any physical violence, dude. This isn't a video game. Like, shut the fuck. We don't need to... Grown men don't need to act violently. This is business, okay? This is above violence. There's a reason anyone can join the army. Very few people can conduct business. Because you have to master your emotional... Any man can be violent. Any man. Every man can be violent. Few men can negotiate peace, right? So this is what bringing these two sides is all about. Yes, I will negotiate peace with horrible people, gladly. If you think I'm going to not discuss problems and solutions with fascists, then you're a fucking child. You are literally a child, and you should not be listened to. Because in the real world of adults that provide everything for your childlike fantasies to survive in, we have to deal with monsters all the time and come to the table and find a solution to broker peace. I'm here to broker global peace, you fucks.